Everybody, welcome to Creative Thinking. This is Art 130. So for creative thinking, we're kind of focusing on how to think and engage creatively to problem solve, to come up with new solutions, that sort of thing. So when you first go into Canvas, this is going to be sort of our walkthrough of what our class is going to look like, a little bit of an overview. So when you go into Canvas, this should be the very first thing you see for our class. It's going to be your home page. It's got a little bit of information about the class, where to start. Over here on the right side, it's got our to-do. So these are going to be what assignments are upcoming. It's going to have their due dates and how much they're worth there, so you can see it all sort of easily. The best way to view our class is to go to modules over here on the left. So when you get to the modules section, it's going to be a little bit about online learning at Jack State. So then it's going to be about this course. So this is where we're going to start. So course welcome is going to be where this video is located. So hopefully you've made it this far. Meet your faculty is going to be a little bit about me. You're welcome to check that out in your time. The main points about me. I got my BFA in photography from Jacksonville State. I got my MA in art history from the University of Alabama. So I know the doing of the art and then the history of the art as well. I also am, I work at a library, so I read a lot. At some point in this semester, if we have any lecture video type things, you're probably going to hear my cats and my child in the background. So I have a cat named Apollo and a cat named Frank, and then my son is James. So there's a little bit about them in there as well. We're going to start next with our syllabus. So you can kind of read this on your own time. This part, it's just kind of, this is what our class is about. This is how it works with Jack's Mix, our objectives, that sort of thing. So here you can find my email. I do have office hours on Teams. I know that they are very limited. I do have a whole nother job. The best way to meet with me is to send me an email. I'm really bad about doing my office hours and never logging into Teams because I simply forget. I get caught up in doing grading things while I'm in my office hours. So if you need me and you need to meet with me, it is best to send me an email and we can set up a time to meet, and I'll send you a Teams link and all of that. I try to respond to emails within 24 hours. If it's on the weekend, sometimes it's 48. It just depends. Lately, I usually respond to emails from my phone, but lately my notifications haven't been coming through, so I've tried to be better about actively checking my email every day. So it may be 48 hours. If you haven't heard back after 48 hours, send me another message. Sometimes things get lost in the shuffle. Sometimes it sends to spam. So if you haven't heard from me in 48 hours, send me another email. My grading policy, we're A through F letter grades, the normal percents. We do have kind of strict deadlines for this class. A lot of the assignments are going to be 2-part assignments. So you're going to have one part of the assignment due at one date, the rest of the assignment due at another. Part of thinking creatively is working in groups and working together with other people and getting different perspectives. So that's why we have strict deadlines for things. So, and that's also why we have 2-part due dates for assignments. You don't want to have to wait on somebody else to do their part. So you want to turn your part in so other people aren't waiting on you. That being said, late work's deducted 10% for every day that it's late. So after 10 days, you get an automatic 0. I do have some things, obviously, things happen sometimes. I can give you extensions. I can excuse assignments, that sort of thing. I try to do extensions as much as possible because I want to make sure that you're actually doing work. That being said, tell me as soon as possible if something happens. If you're sick, if you have a car accident, if there's a fire, whatever. Let me know as soon as possible so we can get an extension set up. Don't wait until after the due date. Don't message me a week after something's been due and say, oh, well, I was sick last week, because it's a little too late at that point. You need to tell me as soon as something happens. So things like vacation, my computer broke, my internet went out. Those don't count. You have 2 weeks for each module. So don't wait until the last minute is going to be my response to that sort of thing. This is an online class. That being said, you need to have a backup plan. So if your internet goes out, you need to have other ways to access internet. There's tons of places you can go to get free internet. Go to your public library. Go to McDonald's or Jack's or, most restaurants have free Wi-Fi even. Go to a coffee shop. If your computer breaks, on campus we have tons of computer labs. If you're not on campus, a lot of public libraries have computers that you can use for free. So make sure that you have some kind of backup plan in place if something happens. Borrow a friend's computer. That being said, you have access to Microsoft Suite through JSU. So that means you have unlimited cloud storage. That means you have access to Word and PowerPoint online. So save your stuff to the cloud. So if your computer does break, you haven't lost your assignments. You've still got them. My computer broke and I lost the assignment is not going to be an excuse for this class. So make sure you save things properly. Save them on the cloud. Use your resources that you have that are given to you for free with JSU. So technology requirements, again, if you need help with things, these are links for help. You have to have a computer. This is an online class. You have to have access to internet. This is an online class. Canvas works best with Firefox. So you can try using it on Chrome or whatever other browser you want to use. But some things don't load correctly. So if an assignment's not loading correctly, it's not letting you upload something. If anything like that happens, the first thing I would try is using Firefox. I've been using the Blackboard and Canvas products for over 12 years, and they always work better on Firefox. So if you're having any kind of problem with visibility or Canvas just not working quite right, try using Firefox if you're not already. And a lot of times that fixes it. We do have recommended materials for this class. So things like colored pencils, colored markers, Sharpies, paper. You can use a journal or a sketchbook if you'd like, Post-it notes, things like that. We're going to be doing some sort of art-based activities when we're thinking creatively. So think about the kinds of materials you might want to use. Communication policy. This is an online class, so a lot of times I'm not going to know that you're struggling until it's too late. So as soon as you realize that you're struggling, either with keeping up with assignments or with content or with understanding how an assignment works, send me an email and let me know. I'm not going to just be able to tell because we aren't meeting in person. I'm not going to be able to see the confused look on your face. So send me an email as soon as you need to. Academic misconduct and plagiarism. This class is going to be a little bit difficult to plagiarize in. It's more about creating and doing on your own. You should not be using anybody else's anything in this class. It should be all original work. That being said, this comes directly from the student handbook. You should not use any kind of AI unless it is allowed for an assignment, explicitly allowed for an assignment. If the assignment instructions do not say that you can use AI, then you cannot use AI. So keep that in mind. If you get caught using AI on an assignment, you will get an automatic 0 for that assignment. If it continues to happen, it will lead to a report to the university. I've only ever had to report one person, and it wasn't for AI, thankfully. But I do try to give warnings, but don't make me give you a warning. Just don't use AI. Honestly, for a lot of our assignments, it's going to be more difficult to use AI than to just do it yourself. Plus, this class can be a lot of fun if you let it be. Now we're going to kind of go over some of the resources available. So we have the Student Success Center on campus, the campus resources for writing if you need help with any of that. If you think you might need disability accommodations, go ahead and contact the Disability Support Services. And make sure if you do have disability accommodations, send them to me as soon as possible so that we can make sure that we're covered there. If you're military, we have services. Title IX statement is about discrimination, but this is an online class. It's going to be really hard for me to discriminate. I cannot see you. I know nothing about you but your name. And I'm not going to dig for things about you other than what you tell me in the class and your name. If you need counseling resources, those are available as well. I will post a list of assignments. I don't have that finished yet. So just so that we're all on the same page. So the start date of classes is January the 7th. I got told or asked to do this class January the 5th. I got all of the things I needed to set up the class January the 6th in the afternoon. So when you go into the class, it's going to look a little bit scarce right now. Things are going to be added soon. I've just got to go through and get everything set up correctly. I've got us enough to get set up for this week and get started on Module 1. So don't panic when it looks like there's not a lot in the class, or when you don't have sort of a course checklist sort of thing. It's coming. It's just not finished yet. Make sure you do this introduction discussion before the deadline for enrollment verification. So you can look at that on the course calendar. You won't be verified unless you do the discussion. So get that done as soon as possible. It is due January the 11th. But the sooner you do it, the better. Module 1 is where we're going to see those multiple due dates. So go ahead when you get a chance and look at those instructions so you know what to do. Both of these are discussions. This one is notes and a video. You should do that first so you have information. But you're going to do the initial thing and then reply to the things. You can reply to the things as soon as things are available for you to reply to, even if it's before that first deadline. So for both of these, I think you are in groups. No, you're not in a group for this one. You are in a group for this one. I think that's right. Anyway. So if your group has everything ready, then you can go ahead and respond. You don't have to wait until after that due date to reply. But all of the replies do need to be in by January the 25th. So remember, people are waiting on you. People are relying on you to respond to things. So the sooner you do it, the better. Not just for your own grade, but for the grade of your classmates. That being said, if your classmates do their part with what's available to them, they will get credit and you will not. We do have helpful tools and resources here. If you need help with anything like that, for this class, all of that's available there. This is bonus. You can do this at any point if you're running behind on things. You didn't get the grade you wanted on an assignment. You can complete these. It's 5 different videos. It's 5 bonus points a piece, and you're just going to take notes on those. If you can do them as you go along. You can wait and do them all at the end, whatever. The due date for this will be the last day that assignments are due for this class. I think it's going to end up being April the 19th. I'm not sure, but I'll post what that date is as soon as I get the schedule finished. So that's about it for this class. We don't have a book. Grades you can access here to view what you've made on different things. And if you ever have any questions about anything for this class, send me an email as soon as you have those questions, and I will be more than happy to get back with you and help you with anything. So that is it for our introduction. If you have any questions, send me an email, and I look forward to learning about you all in this class.